Let's start with these English conversations about how Spring Boot works behind the scene. I think it's opportunities to speak about this important framework for Java. Okay, and is these introductions. Okay, and it's a simple guide to auto configurations and the app life cycle. Okay,
Let's do
uh,
it.
are you ready?
Always ready.
Okay. And the first question is why should you care? Okay. Could you could you read please
Yeah, I'm
this
trying
answer?
to make the I can. Most developers use Spring Boot daily, but few understand how the framework fires everything automatically. Knowing the internals helps you debug smarter. Could you scroll down? Thank you. So knowing the internals helps you debug smarter, customize behavior, improve performance, build production ready services.
Okay. Uh, can you explain more about these questions, please?
Yeah, I think the main idea this this lecture this phrase is if you know how to look for things inside the hood of the Spring Boot, you can do it better. You can use the Spring Boot in a better way.
Okay. I think Spring Boot is one of the most important framework for Java language. Okay, and the most developers use this framework daily in many projects. You can use the Spring framework with the other technologies like Angular framework for front end developers. Okay, and I think it's very important to know about this framework because many developers and many companies uh, uh, prefer prefer to I think contract these developers know how about Spring framework. Okay, uh, and the
It's,
other informations.
Spring Boot.
What do you sorry? What's your opinion about this?
Oh, I think we are on the same page. Uh, Spring Boot is widely used by many important companies, big companies. So knowing how Spring works under the hood helps you to make a better code, use the better way. So knowing how Spring works is it's very important to you stand out from the other developers that use Springs too, but they use just the normal way.
Yes, and when I have the opportunities to learn about this framework, I can learn uh, many tools with Spring Framework, and uh, Spring Framework, you can use many solutions for backend developers and to developer uh, web applications, and to create solutions for backend developers, like um, web applications and the other kind of applications. Okay, and it's I I usually uh, to developer uh, with Java and Spring Framework in my personal projects, and in my uh, in other projects. Yeah. Okay, and that's it. Okay, and the start flow when you call Spring applications dot run myapp.class args. Spring Boot starts a sequence, creates the application context, loads configuration files, applies auto configurations, scans and resists beans, starts the embedded servers like Tomcat, Jetty, Net. Yeah, can you explain, please?
When you build an application, and build application, there's always a main method that, and this loads configuration files, the text already says, and configures the whole application to run quickly. You can specify in what server, which server do you want to run your application. Was Web, Jet, Native, or Tomcat. Which of these servers are embedded? Spring Boot, you just can the configuration, and the Spring Boot will create it for you. You don't need to work a lot in configuring and this kind of stuff, because that's the main idea of the Spring Boot. You can build your application and put it in production.
Okay. Yes, it's very interesting. Uh, these informations about Spring Framework, and uh, when I will start the applications with Spring Framework, I can create the application contents, loads configurations, files, and the others. Okay, I can uh, I can have configurations with Tomcat and the other servers. Okay, um, and the heart of the framework. Okay, can you read, please?
The heart of the framework, the application context, is where Spring manage all beans, handles dependency injections, applies lifecycle callbacks, connects your components automatically. So I think the idea of the Spring is CI, and that's the dependency injection. The the Spring on primarily it was focused on this feature to manage your dependencies and passing the years, they bring more features, right? They Spring Boot that manage to, but they have connectors to connect with your database, whatever other application you want to use or Spring Boot project. It makes it faster just configuring in a purchase file.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it's it's important is to have configurations to managers bins in your applications and uh, to use dependency injectors in your applications. I think uh, it's it's a better uh, recommendations to developer with dependency injections uh, and the other things it's important is to integrating the your applications with the uh, Angular framework or others, yeah, um, to use it the better solutions for your applications. I think it's important for me, yeah. Think of it was the containing brand of the app.
You can
Out,
say the app.
okay, go ahead. Uh,
So, auto configuration explainer. Spring Boot analyzes your class path, existing and configuration to guess what you need. Examples. If Spring MVC is present, configure configures web MVC. If JPA plus Hibernate are present, configures that the data source and entity manager. It sets sensible defaults so you don't write boilerplate. That's the beauty of the Spring Boot. You can just add the dependency in your POM, XML, or, in your Gradle if you're using Gradle. And the Spring Boot reads your phone and configures your application for you. So you don't need to configure in your code the the pool of the pool connection of your database. You don't have to configure the servlets. That's pretty annoying to configure servlets. In the beginning of the Spring, we used to do it in XML files, but not anymore. Spring facilitates a lot the life of developers.
yeah, I agree with you. I think Spring facilitates many things in applications. Uh, it's important to integrate the applications with databases, yeah, to configure uh, mm, many dependencies in applications, configure its data source, yeah, configure databases like username, passwords, and the other configurations for databases. Okay, um, and Bean life cycle
There's
in
a cookbook. There's a cookbook where you can just see the configuration that you need, copy and paste in your project, and everything will work properly. That's pretty cool.
okay. And bean life cycle in spring. A bean goes through stages, uh, creating, dependency injection, post-processing, initializations, post-constructs, ready for use, destruct, pre-destroy. Spring Boot manages all of this automatically. Oh, that's interesting. What do you think about this?
When you're using a Spring, you're coding a Spring project, you, and you want to take some class with component mapping, class mapping over, but serves your repository, the Spring creates a dependence for you, and in this life cycle is managed or is managed in Spring. So you don't need to worry about when your object is created, when you have to inject uh, what they do, what the object will do when it's constructed, when it will be destroyed to liberate some space in your memory. It, it's best to Java developer use Spring.
And the key takeaway: a Spring Boot isn't magic. It's a predictable, powerful systems built on auto configurations plus life cycle management. Okay, and understand the internals unlock the full power of Spring Boot. Okay, and share your favorite part of Spring Boot in the comments. Okay, sorry. This content was created by Otávio Borges, full stack engineer. Okay, it was
Hey,
a great content about Spring framework. Okay, thanks for participating in this English conversation.